welcome. It's Mike and I am back, guys, and today is Friday, so happy Frog Friday. Today I am wearing the Tiffany GWF D1000MB-3JF. Tiffany, she doesn't come out very often, but when she does, it's a good time. Anyway, guys, today is not about Tiffany, as beautiful as she is. Oh, one more shot there, one more shot. There you go. Today we have a G-Shock for you guys. Now this is another one of the models or pieces lent in by my good friend and fellow watch enthusiast Dayne. And well, let's see what we got here. So we have, guys, a GA110. I don't own this model. Get that out of the way. I don't own this model. I don't own any G110s, but this one is actually the GA110WG-7A. Dayne wears his watches. Good for you. And so you should. This is a white G-Shock, and it is in fantastic condition, considering, and I'm not too sure when Dayne got this, but this particular model was launched in 2010, and it's a great model, guys. It's a great model. So let's get through some of the stats before we carry on with this watch. So the case size is a 55mm. The height is 16.9mm. The lug to lug, okay, from here to here, is 45mm, and I always take a G-Shock GA lug to lug. Well, that is the lug to lug, but how it sits on your wrist, or where it's going to be, you know, comfortable and sat in its ultimate position on your wrist, is from these widest points here, and that's 60mm on this model. It's the extra large G-Shock, right? It looks big, it wears big. It is a big G-Shock, but light at only 72 grams. The lug width is 28.5mm and tapers nicely down to a 22mm. So it's a nice big, got some real good wrist presence on this one. Nice big G-Shock with some good wrist presence, but very light, so nice and easy to use and handle. Now the module in this one is a 51.46, and it is a screw down back with the battery. So the battery in there is a 1220 CR1220, which does need replacing every 2 years. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a sec, but I do love this style of G-Shock, and well, to say I love it will be an understatement, because let me show you my collection. Some of you who are new to my channel won't have seen this before. The GA100. So for a comparison, this is the GA100 and this is the GA110. They are exactly the same dimensions: case size, case height, lug width, and lug to lug. Exactly the same, guys. But I prefer this model. They're both analog digital models, or Anadigi as they're called. But obviously there are some differences. Now, one of the things which I'm not going to go too far into, I'll get that out of the way for now as a distraction. One of the things I'm not going to go too far into, guys, is this has a function where you can record the speed, and it's done by this speed dial here. This sub dial records speed in 2 kilometer increments, and basically what you do is you would input your distance. When you go through the modes, you get to, well, there's a stopwatch, there's the timer, and when you go into the time, if you press adjust, you can then input your distance, start the timer for your speed and for your time, sorry, and when you stop the timer, it records your speed with this speed dial right here. You can see there, it's in increments of 2 kilometers or 2 miles, depending on where you are. So I'm not going to go too much into that. It's quite in depth, and there are plenty of tutorials online that will show you that in more depth. But let's go through. You've got the world time there. This is set to Tokyo right now. You then go to the alarm, and it has 4 alarms. 2, 3, 4. It also has a snooze facility, and that is the signal. The signal is off right now, so that's your chirps. And then back to standard timekeeping mode. You can see the date there. It is December 31st, New Year's Eve. And if you press the forward here in the timekeeping mode, it goes to the digital time, which is matched to the analog time. Now, one thing about these watches is that they do suffer from misalignment, or the time on the analog doesn't always match the time on the digital, and it is a problem where you do need to reset them. Now obviously there is a way to reset them, and it's a series of button presses to get the hands to align and match the digital. But what I found, because this one had the problem, and I have actually reset it, and it's kept the time. But what I found is that when a battery change is necessary, it's imperative to touch the contacts, the AC and negative contact together, in order to reset the module. If you don't do that, you get the problem with the misalignment, and it can happen. I know this watch has had it, so it may be okay now, but if it does have it again, I would suggest that the owner either let me change it for him, change the battery for him, and then reset the module, or follow the instructions of touching the AC and negative contact together after the battery has been changed, so that the module can be reset. So let's give you a wrist shot, because you need to see what it's like on the wrist. Let's take Tiffany off for a sec. I do like these extra large G-Shock cases, as you know, or as you just saw. And there it is on my 7 3/4. I like to wear mine a little bit bigger, so that it's got enough room to move around my wrist, and when your wrist gets sweaty, it doesn't stick. The watch doesn't stick to you. So I like to wear mine a little bit on the loose side. But there it is on my 7 3/4. Very nice, very good looking piece, and in this colorway, which out of all of the colors, and there are a few, you don't see this one too often. So very nice. One of the other letdowns about this this watch, and the GA100s as well, right? I'm going to show you. In fact, let's turn the lights off to show you, because it is the light. And you'll see what I mean when I say one of the issues here. The light is pretty much for cosmetics, because it doesn't really do that much now. And here's the thing, and I'll show you a little comparison. On the white, they show really well. Pretty much illuminates the whole dial. You've got that positive display, and you've got the dark hands on the back. But on a darker watch, and I have changed all of these batteries within the last few months, but here's a comparison. And not bad, because it's a new battery, but you can imagine with the darker display, that light pretty much doesn't do very much. Let's go for another one, because that actually showed up quite well. Let's go for my Bumblebee. Here we go. Yeah, not bad. So it's doing a pretty bad job of showing that it is bad. The lighting isn't the best on these, but it doesn't look too bad here, to be fair. When the battery is running down, all you get is a little pip here, and you don't see too much of the display at all, so not the best. But let's get the lights back on, because those lights are not too bad at all. So guys, this watch, when it launched in 2010, was around about the 120 mark. It's a little bit more expensive now. I would say that if you're going to buy one, err on the side of if it's too good to be true, i.e. too cheap, it probably is. There are a ton of fakes with these models, guys, and you know, the last thing you want is to spend your hard-earned, no matter how much it is, on something that is not real. When these are fakes, the modules are really poorly made, and you're not getting a G-Shock basically. So I would look to spend around about the $100 mark on these. I would say anything sub 100, be wary of. I mean, you could get a deal. Someone might want to sell one for a cheaper price, but if I was going to buy one of these, I've always bought mine brand new. So you get the tin, you also get a box, and you get the hang tag. Then you know it's going to be genuine, or you have a better chance of it being genuine, because obviously fakes are very good these days. But also do your research, you know, do your due diligence, and like I said, if it feels too good to be true, it usually is. So there you have it, guys, a very quick review of this G-Shock GA110WG-7A. As I say, guys, wear all of your timepieces in the very best of health, and until next time, take care.